So we'll start with our fourth module. It is event handling, AWT, and Swing. Basically, when you talk about EWT and event handling, these go both hand in hand because AWT will provide you an graphical user interface and will let you to create and manage the components onto it, right? Basically, those components are at the backend nothing but the classes and methods and interfaces used to communicate with different components so that as and when a user clicks on a button, on a text box, on a radio button, or on a drop down list, there will be some action performed, right? So to handle that exception, what we need is the basic idea of event handling, right? So whenever we press a click on mouse button on a component, a event is about to generate, right? There will be some source, some listener who is going to see what should be done when a user clicks on a button. So when we release that click on the mouse, an event will be generated, and whatever the business logic is being provided into that method, it will be executed. Hmm. So what do you mean by AWT? It stands for Abstract Window Toolkit, right? It is an API which is being used to develop graphical user interfaces, or you can say window-based applications in Java, right? So if you're going to use a graphical user interface, you will be needing this package as java.awt, right? So this will be the package which we'll be using for creating window-based. Now it will be an application rather than on a console, right? As I said, right now we are not using any of those IDs. Now for this graphical user interface, you will be having lots of lines of code to write. So you can use any of those IDs used for Java. Right? Java AWT components are platform independent, right? Java is heavyweight. The main, I can say, reason why we call it as heavyweight and Swing as lightweight is that AWT has its own components, right? And it uses the resources of the native operating system, whereas Swing uses its own resources rather than dependent on the native operating system. So that is the difference why it takes more time to process the component in AWT as compared to Swing. We'll see that difference when we move on to Swing. As of now, you remember that the components which are used in AWT are platform independent and AWT is heavyweight. And this is the entire scenario, or you can say the hierarchy of AWT. First, as of now, we are seeing here that it is on the very topmost. You can see it is an object. Then we have a component, right? And these are the list of components which we'll be using throughout our module. So first we have label. Label is nothing but as in a simple text representation or a message given to the user. Then we have button, then checkbox, choice, list, canvas, right? This could be used as in one type of you can say layouts, because there are different layout managers where you can create your graphical user interface so that it would be more, you can say, interactive with the user, right? So rather than placing it on each and every pixel, you can go for different layouts which are inbuilt provided by the Java, right? Next component, we have a scroll bar, then we have text component, container, and window. Right. Now, these all are nothing but the components of AWT. Right? In text component, you are having text field and text area. Right? The basic difference between this is the text field will have only one single line, right? So it won't have, you can say, as uh, input as for multiple lines, whereas in you can have it in text area, right? So text area, suppose if you're going to use an address, right? Or if you're going to have a short answer or a long answer from the user, in that cases you can go for text area, and for text field you can have its username as his class, right? You can ask the information which will be in a single line. So number of characters can also be limited, but the data won't be seen into the next line. All the data will be represented in a single line. So if you're going to take the input as the address of the user, so it is more applicable to have it in a, you can say, multi-line. For multi-line, you can go for text area rather than for text field, right? So basically, I have one more diagram to show. This is a detailed one. You need to remember these components under which category, which of those classes and methods are being arriving. We'll see it in more detail with respect to methods also. But this is the entire, you can say, hierarchy of how these components are being aligned. This is the most important diagram, right? So firstly, whenever we talk about a component, we see that how it should be placed, right? It follows a particular hierarchy, right? Whenever you take a simple window, it has some buttons, right? As in default menu, it has a minimize button, a maximize button, close button, and the below you can see a status bar which gives you the current status, lines, number of columns, whether if you are having a cursor on that panel or inside the window, at which pixel your cursor is pointing, and so on, right? So this kind of information is being displayed on a particular window, on a simple particular window. So this depends on the hierarchy which you're seeing on your screen, right? So this is the hierarchy of Java AWT classes. See, all these classes are available in java.awt package, right? Java.awt package. Now, what we are having here as in first as the component class. So the component class is at the topmost of this hierarchy, right? So it is an abstract class. Now, abstract class which you can say encapsulates all the attributes of the visual, I mean the graphical components, right? So a component object, the first one, the root one, the component object is responsible for remembering the current foreground and the background activity which is being currently selected, right? So component will have the information about the current foreground and background activities going on, right? Now next we have the container, right? So container is nothing but again a component of AWT which contains another components such as, which we have seen in the previous slide, button, label, text field, right? Checkbox, list. So these are nothing but the container. These components are stored in the container, right? So we can say that container is a subclass of component class, right? Wherein container class keeps the track of components that are added to the component. So the number of components which we take and go on add in our graphical interface, you can see the way we go on adding those, it keeps the record or keeps the track of all those components, right? Then for container, we have two more categories, as window and as panel, right? So we'll see just in more detail. I'll just give an overview how this are and these classes are and how these are being subclassed, right? So when we talk about panel is a concrete class, right, of container. Panel does not have a title bar, a menu bar, or any borders, right? It is just used for holding the components, right? If you drag and drop your component on a particular pixel, it will be holding that position, that location on the panel. So that is the, you can say, the responsibility of panel. Whereas in a window creates a very top level window, right? There's a difference between panel and window, right? As I said, panel will have title bar, menu bar, and border, but a window does not have borders and menu bars, right? It will only have a title bar indicating the what type of window you have opened it, right? you can give a title to your window also, but it won't have borders and menu bars, right? So think of a window which is not having any border or any menu bar. Whereas frame, again a subclass of window, frame can be resized, right? So if it can be resized, it will be having its border, right? So you can scroll, click it and drag it horizontally, vertically, or at the bottom corner you can click it and drag away. So you can resize your you can say entire body or frame of that component. So it is also having several different components like button, text field, label, etc. Right. Most of the AWT applications use frame, frame window, right? So frame has two different constructors. One was the default constructor and one with one parameter where we use as its a title, right? So by default, if I want to give a title for my frame, I can use it, right? So by two different methods, I can create a frame. What are those? By instantiating the frame class itself, right? This is the first way. And the second way is to extending the frame class, right? We'll see these examples in our next lecture, how this can be implemented. So all these, you can say code snippets, will be seeing practically how we can create a frame and which are the two different, you can say constructors used in it and two different methods or ways to create a frame. We see more about these components, right? Talking about container, right? It is a component in AWT that can contain another components like buttons, text fields, labels, etc. Right? You take a snapshot of this. I hope this you can say slide is visible. This slide is more visible on your screen. If not, I'll share it on Moodle so that you can easily have this as an image and use for your further references, right? So these are the list of components. These are just basic components. More detailed, I'll be listing out and sharing it on the Moodle, right? This and these two hierarchies are very important while going through this module, right? Then the classes that extends container will have are the frame, dialog, and the panel, right? I'll let you know what different kind of dialogues are there when we go for AWT. Then this is the window, right? So it is the container that has no borders and menu bars. As I said, window will have no borders. This is a point to note down. Windows will have no borders and menu bars. So you need to imagine a frame which is having no border and no menu bar. So when you create such kind of, you cannot drag that window, right? So you need to have a frame so that you can drag it, you can change the position, you can resize it, right? And you can have multiple options via the menu bar, right? So to view a window, right, where we can have these options, to view a window we need to have a frame, right? As in a dialog panel, we need to have a frame. That is the reason why many of them uh, prefer frame class rather than window. Now about panel, because it is in the same, you can say, subcategory. So it is the container that doesn't contain any title bar and menu bar, right? So panel does not have a title bar and neither a menu bar, right? So it can have the components like all buttons, text fields, labels, checkbox, etc. Whereas a frame, now comparatively talking about window and frame, you can see that it is a container that contains title bar and can have menu bars, right? So this is the opposite part of window. You cannot have a title bar, a menu bar in the window, but here in frame you can have it, and also you can add the other components like buttons, text fields, labels, etc. Right? So all these components can be added via a frame also. right? And as I said, there are two methods of creating frame: by instantiating the frame class itself and by extending the frame class, right? So we'll see these two methods practically in our upcoming lecture. Right. Now, these are some of the methods which we are going to frequently use while creating the GUI. Suppose if I'm going to add a component, right? So I need to tell the container that you need to hold this component onto your container, and the way I go on writing the code for adding the components, it will be sequentially added. If you have not used any layout, so those all components will be added sequentially, right? If you're going to use any layout, accordingly you need to tell the position, and those components will be added into the particular layout which you have used, right? So these are some of the basics. Rather than going for a very complex one, we'll start with a simple interface and then move towards the complexity. First we have is the public void add. So this component, this method will be adding the, can say, different components, right? Now if I want to have some more attributes to regarding that component, I can also go for it. I can set the size, right? Suppose you're going to add a layout for button, so you can set the size of the button with width and height. Then you can set the layout. As I said, there will be a particular layout. If you're not going to use any layout, that means you're not going to implement this method, right? And specifying what kind of layout manager you are going to implement. If you're not, you're going to use this, by default a flow layout will be applied, right? So there are 4 to 5 you can say layout managers in the basic part. There are more advanced layouts also, but if we go for a very simple basic ones, in layout manager you can find 4 to 5 uh, different layouts. So amongst that, flow layout is the default one. That means the components which are being added are being sequentially you can say made visible in the graphical user interface, right? So whenever you execute that program, you will be seeing the components programmatically, how we have written the code. Accordingly, all those components will be added on the screen. Then second is last is set visible, right? Now if you're creating and you're adding it on some you can say layout, or having the position of that component, you need to make it visible, right? That means it will be there. If you make this as false, the status as false, your component will not be visible on the frame, right? So you need to set it as true. So when you set it as true, you will be visible on the screen. Now, yeah, as I said, you are having two methods, right? So to create a simple AWT, we need a frame. Now, more about we'll be focusing on a frame. I'll show you a simple demo in our next lecture of a window, right? The difference between why we should not go for only a window direct, why we should go for a frame, because you won't have that features available in the top level window as we have in a frame, right? So if you're going to create a frame, you'll be having two different ways: by extending frame class itself, right? And the second way is by creating the object of frame class, right? Note these points. We will be having this as a very important part to understand. So whenever we create a frame, we have two different ways: by extending the frame class itself and by creating the object of the frame class.